I'll repeat what I said though. I mean, a lot of pressure being record a conversation, even though it's just you and I, it doesn't feel like it's just you and I.
I know, bro, but you're my first one too, so there's lots of
I'm taking your virginity on this podcast.
my Zoom virginity.
And I'm also conflicted because I noticed one of your Instagram messages and or you posted this to your story. You said it was a Bible verse. The
Oh yeah,
tongue, the tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. Proverbs 18:21. So you're having me on this, I guess, podcast,
yeah.
talk my face off. So I'm curious as to what the consequences are going to be.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Straight spiritual test. Yeah, bro. The Lord sent me to see where you're at. So yeah,
Bob, go
yeah,
ahead.
bro. So while we're talking about where we're at and everything, with everything that's been going on, just kind of tell me how your life's been affected by this, bro. Because you do finances, and plus you're training to run marathons and stuff. Which, by the way, people, it's my cousin Justin James, the legend, the myth. I guess not a myth. You're pretty real. But yeah, bro, what's going on right now, man?
Yeah, so I'm in the health insurance business. Sales have definitely come to a halt, which is expected. People, I think, are trying to figure out or just take care of their own backyards right now. So we're just focusing all of our attention on just servicing our clientele and helping them navigate this storm. So far, yeah, I'm adapting okay, working from home, growing a gross beard, just trying to step up and be there for my team, trying to be a steady hand. Craig Rochelle has been helping me through
Yeah,
this.
bro. Yeah, you've been posting about him, eh? He's been kind of getting you through.
Yeah, he's great. He's definitely a leader I look up to. I jumped on his webinar this week. He had two of
Oh,
them, and
cool.
it's called I think helping lead in a crisis or something like that. And
Yeah, yeah.
oh man's been incredibly helpful as well. He's never been through this, but he's a great resource. So yeah, I mean, I'm keeping it light. I'm keeping it positive. I'm a half glass full guy. I've always seen work as a game Monopoly. I certainly play to win, but I don't let it define me. So I'm not losing sleep over this.
Yeah, for sure. How do you find that your day-to-day mentality has kind of had to change? Because you're not really going to work anymore, right? Like you're not seeing anybody. You have to kind of do things from behind a screen. So how do you feel like your mentality? Do you have to work harder, like to be, what's the word, motivated? Because that's where a lot of people are at right now with myself, where I have to force myself, like to do certain things, like me being laid off. I guess 2 weeks ago now we're coming up to. So for me, day to day, I have to like kind of make myself. So how do you find that you've had to kind of change like how you kind of go about your day motivation wise?
Um, I think it's important to have routine, even though things are a little bit crazy right now. So, I mean, I'm working in my basement. As you can see behind me, it's unfinished, but I do got a good workstation here. Sorry, good workstation. I got my office phone, which makes. I mean, things are certainly not normal, but
Of course.
I don't want to be working in my underwear upstairs alongside my wife. I think it's important to have kind of a place to get away to. And like I said, I mean, my day to days change just because historically I've focused on sales, whether it's sitting in front of people, selling, or opening up doors. Like I spent a lot of time cold calling and prospecting. So
Yeah.
now, like I said, I mean, I'm just really trying to step up, make sure that my team has the support they need to do their jobs effectively. We're just trying to be there for our clients, taking the time to pick up I mean, not pick up new hobbies, but maybe get back to some hobbies that
Yeah.
I've just kind of been collecting dust, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. 100%. Same.
Yeah, so I've been playing like more music. I was gonna say writing, but that would be a lie. I like to start doing some more writing.
Yeah.
Connecting with friends, just checking on them, making sure they're good. Called a handful of clients just to kind of check in on them. Actually started a new course, so I'm trying to just round out my industry knowledge, trying to sharpen the axe. So again, I'm trying to, it's easier said than done, but I'm really trying to use this as an opportunity to come out the other end a better version of myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing because you know me, like I'm an extrovert, right? Like I had a very busy schedule, like between, you know, running a business and I'm part of a committee for the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and that fundraising campaign actually, as of today, has been on hold for a while.
Right.
I was meant to do a marathon May 3rd. That event's been canceled, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Although it would be a very lonely
Oh,
experience.
you're just gonna do it by yourself, eh?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to be
Oh,
running by myself.
oh, good for you, man. Yeah, cause saw that you ran. What was it, like 16 kilometers of like training for a marathon that wasn't gonna happen? Was gonna bring that up yeah, in a couple minutes, but
Yeah,
that's cool.
and I got to. I'm running 30K this weekend, so I don't know. Like, I definitely don't have all the answers, but it's a very fluid situation, taking things a day at a time. I know the most powerful tool is between the ears, making sure that I keep my mind right. I am seeing this as an opportunity, and I'm just having to adapt like everyone else. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess all I'm getting at is it's crazy to have all of my commitments pretty well get ripped out of my schedule all at once.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, right? Is like that the whole world's going through it. That's why probably 2, 3, 4 times a day I'm like remembering that, like, because I have to change my schedule like everybody else, but it's like fascinating to me. Like that's the fascinating part to me, and like really thankful that I'm like healthy and that my like family's healthy and you're healthy and everyone's good and safe. But it's just fascinating to me that like literally the whole world is basically having to change like how they approach life at the same
Everyone,
time.
yeah,
It's
100%.
fascinating.
Yeah. And again, it's all about perspective, right? Because thankfully we live in Canada. We have an amazing healthcare system. Like, could you imagine living in like, you know, a place where, I don't know, third world where you're in the slums and you're pretty well living on top of people. And I don't know, it's just, you know, again, you just got to keep it all in perspective. So yeah. How have you been adapting, Mark? Not to hijack, you know,
What's that? Sorry?
said, how are you doing?
Oh man, yeah, like that's something like you know, two of us like have kind of talked about it over like the last year, that the Lord's been kind of teaching me this like separately from the COVID situation, but like more so now, like just to be thankful. Like we're constantly like kind of focusing on the things that we don't have, like generally, not like you or anyone specifically, but kind of generally we're always trying to get more. We want more. I know for me, I've kind of felt in a place that I've been in a place where I've been kind of spinning my tires, and but like you have to work hard, you got to push yourself and like set goals. But I think it's like really key to slow down and to think, like be thankful for what you have. And I think that's something like, you know, personal level for me. I was laid off just before Christmas, and then I was working for about 3 weeks and then was laid off for this, right? And
That's embarrassing.
yeah, it is embarrassing. I'm gonna tell the world right here, but but the whole point is like you could be stressed out, but it's not going to change anything. You just got to be thankful for spending time with family and that everyone's healthy around you. And but yeah, it's been good.
While keeping, you know, your social distance, unless they're living within your household, right? Let's be clear. There.
Yes, yeah, that took a couple people in our family, you know, a couple days to learn, but I think everyone's on board now.
Is your mom still putting our papa's life at risk or what?
No, sir. No, this is her. I think she's had a week and a half off from papa duty, I think. But if we can actually I don't know. But yeah, where was I gonna go? Oh yeah, that's been the biggest thing.
Sorry, go
Huh?
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, that's been the biggest thing that like to have like the whole family have no choice but to just like hang out with each other. Like was talking to my neighbor the other day and he has 2 young kids. I think they're like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. And he's not a Christian guy or anything, he's just a normal dude. And he was saying like it's crazy like to spend time with your kids and you're always so busy. But like he was really hit by like, wow, like you don't know what's happening tomorrow. Like we have no idea. Like that's something for me that I've actually been learning is like to respect your resources. Like that's something for me, like you and I have been honest about this, like, you know, learning about money and like being smart that way. Like who knew that something like this would have happened, right? Just respecting the time that you have and the resources you have. I don't know, man. I've just been fascinated by a lot of this and taking the time to kind of learn.
I was going to say, it's funny. I put together a business plan about a year ago. And as part of that, we did a SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is when you identify your company's strengths, you identify your company's weaknesses, opportunities, and then finally threats.
Okay.
Going through that today, and you know, I listed a number of threats, but one thing on there was certainly not a pandemic. So next time I put together a program or do a business plan, I'll be sure to
yeah
pandemic to the list, because I don't think anyone saw this coming.
No, man, not at all. And like it's like much like you've been trying to take the time to like, because we have this time whether we like it or not, right? And like I think for the first couple days of this time I probably played way too much PlayStation, and after my second Stanley Cup I decided to start kind of taking care of like different things within myself that need to be worked on, you know?
For sure. And that's sad, eh? No playoffs, man. Or I mean, in my mind, no playoffs, but who knows? I guess there's still a chance it happens.
They're saying probably midsummer right now to get back. That was the funny thing. I was actually talking to Shay, my girlfriend, a couple days ago, just kind of saying like, listen, I'm really thankful for my health and for my family, and I'm making sure that everyone knows I'm very, very blessed. But I miss sports, man. Like I'm losing it. Like I probably watched like 5 baseball games from like '93. Like I'm doing everything I can over here.
Buddy, you got to watch marble racing. It's the new hype. Marble racing. You haven't seen marble racing?
No?
Marble 01 or whatever. Dude, you got to watch it. It's awesome.
Where do I find this? Like it's just YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
Marble racing.
Literally, yeah. Like it's like a 10
like,
out of 10.
It is like marbles.
Literally marbles, and like you're like they have a track set up, and there's some dude like hosting as if like you're watching like a Formula 1 event.
Yeah,
it's dope. Yeah, you got to check it out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so you're welcome.
That begin just now?
What?
Because of the whole COVID thing, did that begin, or was that already a thing?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I would imagine it was birthed as a result of what's happening, but
you never know, man.
Check it out, man. You'll get a laugh.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to ask you too, because dealing with customers, kind of dealing with different clientele, like different people, probably younger, older, business owners, non-business owners, a whole bunch of different types of people. What's the fear level kind of that you're sensing with people living their lives? Like, do you find people are like, you know, kind of nervous about the future? Do you find people are just kind of taking the time, like what we've talked about, to do their own thing? Do you find people are just not too worried about it?
Well,
what's the temperature out there with business?
Again, like my time was spent prospecting and bringing a new business, right? So that would be a better question for my client service team.
Sure.
But I mean, obviously we talk all the time, and my sense is it's just there's a mixed bag of reactions, right?
Right.
Some people are, anxious. Some people, don't seem to be too bothered. There's some businesses thriving. We have some clients that are doing mass layoffs. So, I mean, it's an eclectic mix.
Right.
As far as people that I've been talking to, same thing. I mean, it's just, it's mixed reactions. I also think we've kind of gone through the honeymoon stage of COVID. I think, things, again, I told you at the beginning, I'm optimistic, and I don't mean this from like a negative standpoint, but I think things are going to get worse before they get better.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so I think people are going to be tested in the next few weeks, right? And it's all the more reason to kind of lean in and just make sure you're, connecting to people that you love. And one thing I've been trying to do is just, be intentional about connecting with a handful of people, just checking in, just trying to keep things light. But I say keep things light, I'm not talking about like being naive and not being realistic about what's going on. I've
No,
been
of
very
course, of
thoughtful
course.
about how I'm feeling as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and my hope is that we'll come out the other end. Maybe a little more sensitive to one another, and I don't know. I've lost my train of thought,
No,
but
no.
I think there's a lot of good that could come from this. I mean, unfortunately, there's going to be people that die. Unfortunately, it's going to have a huge impact on the economy. But I do think we could learn a lot from this pandemic with the right mindset.
100%. And I mean, kind of want to talk to you about kind of how spiritual you're kind of looking at this. Like, but before you do, like, that's the one thing.
Big questions. Again, there's a lot of pressure, man, with the recorded conversation. I feel like I'm like not even present. I'm just like, like in my head about like, did I say the right thing?
Nah, man, it's all good, bro. We're just chatting.
How is this gonna be perceived?
Well, I mean, people will probably judge you, but it's no.
There's
It's
no
no.
question. I mean, that comes with the territory of just having something to say. God's gonna judge me too, right? According
That's
to
it. Yeah, I would rather God judge me than people, though.
yeah,
I feel better when God judges me. But that's kind of the thing. Like, I was going to kind of talk to you about, but also trying to think the word to say, like, the world basically had to press the pause button, right? Like the whole world's kind of had to just completely calm down, completely slow down, and you're looking around the world like parts of creation that are being brought back to life, and like different bodies of waters and different forests and like things in like nature that are like being rejuvenated. But then people, especially Western culture, have just been going like fast, and now the whole world is being kind of like forced to press the pause button. And it's just like, you're right, like people have no choice now but to kind of like watch the way that they've been treating each other. And like my neighbor, again, we were talking and he was saying that people calling each other at the grocery store, like, hey, I'm at the grocery store, do you need a hand? It's like it took this pandemic to have to like force people to like care about each other. And it's like why did it take something like this that for us to help our neighbor and help each other?
Yeah, I think again, I think you're gonna see the best of people and like the worst of people, and that's
Of
like
course.
all the reason to like be a light and be salt and like just challenge people's perspective. And like I'll share with you my hope. I actually flipped this to Ken, my pastor, because he was asking me what did he say? I don't want to misquote him, otherwise he's gonna
Sure.
sue me. Anyways, I forget what the I'm trying to figure out what this is going to look So I'm trying to figure out what this is gonna look like at the other end. If you figure that out, let me know. And I said, hard to say. God won't waste this opportunity, though. Hopefully, people become more compassionate, less materialistic, and have a greater appreciation for the things we all took for granted. Because if you think about it, like you can't even go to a restaurant right now. I mean, you're not supposed to be seeing friends unless you're outdoors and keeping 6 feet apart.
Right.
You can't travel. So it's like, these are all things I don't think any of us thought in a million years would be taken from us, right? And it has happened abruptly. But what's cool, I mean, I just finished a book called To Hell with the Hustle, and they talk about,
Oh yeah,
like,
reading that myself, actually reading that right now.
are you? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna butcher what I'm about to say here, but it talks about like Jesus pretty well, like doing things at like a real slow pace.
Right.
And a lot of like miracles that he performed was a result of like being like at that pace and not like kind of rushing to the next thing. And he was like kind of, you know, again, I'm butchering it, but like
No, all good.
because he was going like at a real slow and steady pace, he saw opportunities to kind of show up. And I
Right.
think that's what's cool about like right now, it's like, you're right, like Western culture, like we're going a million miles an hour. A lot of us are on the plastic treadmill.
Yeah.
Things have been canceled abruptly. We got all this time back. And I think it's almost like good for the soul, once again, with the right mentality, with the right perspective. So I think, personally, I don't want to squander this time. I want to make sure I'm reading good things, connecting with people. um, you know, I mean, I already said reading good things, but I told you earlier, enrolling in a course,
Yeah.
picking up some old hobbies. I definitely would like to get, I mean, I'm a spiritual dude, I'm a Christian, but it's very much like a roller coaster. Sometimes I think like I almost feeling really good. And then there's times where I feel disconnected. And I'm sure that's like my own, um, I don't know, like I get in my own way. But the point is, like, I think this is also an opportunity to like really, do a deep dive and get my spiritual life back on track in some ways.
Yeah, I know 100%.
How was that for a ramble?
No, I love it, bro.
How's that for a recorded ramble?
How's that for a podcast, bro? No,
What's this
man, that's
podcast
real.
called, by the way? You didn't even introduce, like, what's this podcast called?
So we're gonna call it uh Low Podcast. We're gonna
Low.
lead our world, LOW.
Oh, I
Low.
thought you meant like people that are low, and I'm like, oh, thanks, you got me as your first guest.
Yeah,
We're finding depressed people out there in the world that are
yeah,
willing to
just
come
trying
on and
to.
talk about their problems.
Yeah, last shall be first. I'm just trying to find the last place people. Nah, man, like that's what we're gonna call it. And as time progresses, we'll probably do, I don't know, more like professional, if you will. But I'm just right now just trying to talk to people and just try to see where people are at. There's a couple more people next week talking to, but this is actually the first time that we've really talked about like this whole thing, you and me. We haven't really connected since this whole thing started, so it's been good, man.
I mean, I feel like I should be asking about you, but I don't want to throw off, your like the
Nah, dude, ask me whatever you want, man. This conversation, we're good.
like I feel like I'm being, interviewed right now, but
Well, you are, but it wasn't really that wasn't really the it just kind of happened that way.
I just don't know what the structure is, you know what I mean? And I just feel like I'm just yapping on and it's all up, I just want to check it on you. How's Ruthie doing? How's Andrew? How's Julia? What do we ask about the family all at once?
Family update. Yeah, man, we have like, I think about between 14 and 10 minutes left. I can't remember. Like, time flies by, bro. Yeah, bro, my mom's good. She's working for right now. We'll see, kind of like we're kind of taking it week by week as far as she goes. My sister is doing well. She just began working again today, but she's been living at home for the last month and will continue to do so. So it's been good kind of reconnecting with her. Andrew's Andrew, man. He may not even care enough about us to watch this. You know, who knows?
I have a theory, actually.
About Andrew?
Yeah.
In what regard? Hit me.
I think Andrew actually started the virus.
Wow. This could get heavy in a hurry.
It's just a theory.
I want to ask why, but I don't know if
no.
we should have that as proof.
I have my sources. Just believe me.
I know you do. Yeah, man. But everyone's good. My brother, he came. He's been working from home, like everyone else that is able to. He's been pretty busy though. We told him at the beginning of the quarantine he hadn't been to work in a while, and we were like, "Yo, bro, like come hang out or whatever." And he just doesn't. He's fine. He's fine quarantining alone in his basement. Like,
oh, he's probably in heaven right now.
He loves it. Yeah. Came by once, but we've been in quarantine for like, 17 days now or something like that. And or 14, whatever it is, 14 days. And he just doesn't really care about us, man. He's just not seeing the sun and hanging out in his basement. And he's working. He's making money. So I guess I can't chirp him that hard.
Well, that's what drugs do, right? It makes people pull away, not talk to their family. So
yeah, I personally have been blessed with a life to not have, know that I've never experienced.
No,
myself.
An angel for sure.
A nice, pure, sober life that I've lived 30 years.
Unlike Andrew.
No, you never know what that guy's up to. But yeah, man, how about
Poor
you?
Poor guy's not here to defend himself.
Even if he was, he wouldn't.
Well, I feel like he'd have something. Like he'd have a sassy comment or a sassy comeback. He's pretty witty. Like he has some pretty good one-liners. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's been getting sassier though. I think the more time that he stays by himself alone, the sassier he's getting.
On a completely different note, you know one thing I've noticed since COVID?
Hit me.
How much I touch my face, bro. I can't stop. It's like crazy.
Bro. I know. It's like the whole world, like I can't remember where I heard this. I heard it on a podcast or radio show or so. I can't remember where though. I would give credit to it if I could remember. But they're basically saying that the whole world is being treated like a kindergarten class right now. Like wash your hands, take your rest, make sure like if you're sick, stay home. Like everyone's like wash your hands, everything. I was out I work 3. This is kind of gross, but I'll just be real, be honest in the world. I was at work 3 weeks ago. Excuse me. And I was in the bathroom and someone came out of the stall and walked right out the door. I couldn't believe it. That people in the world that just like you were in the washroom.
Actually, speaking of washroom, and that is gross.
Yes.
Wait, I had an epiphany not too long ago. So you know when you use the urinal, do you typically use the urinal then wash your hands?
That's a great question. Typically, but I've recently thrown in the wash your hands, urinal, wash your hands.
Like, I think it makes a lot more sense to wash your hands prior to using the urinal.
Well, I would say probably prior and after as well, pre and post. I don't think you should not post wash your hands, or what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still doing the urinal then wash, but I conflicted.
It doesn't hurt to just like throw an extra, one more pre-wash in there. Doesn't hurt.
I got a lot of time to think about it right now. So after COVID-19's over, I'm sure I'll have a little more clarity on what I'm going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah. Before we wrap up here, how's the wife with her teaching? Obviously, she's been home. How's she been dealing? Kind of a different perspective, like for the teachers out there in the world that love.
What a segue, talking about washing your hands before touching the boys. And by the way, how's your
I
wife?
I just can't. Speaking of
Uh,
which, I before you answer that, I couldn't help but notice, Justin. I know that we're recording, but maybe some people can help you. I had to send the link for this recording to an email with your wife's last name. That was her last name before you were married. Is everything okay? Do you need to do a live counseling sessions? Everything? Are we good?
no, bro, she's a James, thankfully.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, no, she's doing good. I mean, weird times for her as well. Last couple of days, she had to call all of her students and students' parents to make sure they have like internet at home and the capability to do online learning.
Yeah.
So I think she's gonna get started with that soon. But she's enjoying like just having things slowed down right now. We're enjoying like the time together. She actually jokingly said to me the other day that she's really happy that I'm under house arrest and forced to kind of stay home with her. So,
Sure.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing. That means I'm a likable dude, and
Yeah.
she likes it when I'm home. But no, man. Again, like we're both collectively making the best of things, but she's had to adapt like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. We'll say hi to her for me. And before we wrap this up,
What about Shay? Before you wrap it up, let's talk
okay?
about.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, Shay's been good, man. Yeah, Shay's been good. Her work for the church, surprisingly, has actually seemed to be probably more now than before, and maybe that's just because she's home and I'm actually watching her work all constantly. So maybe I just think that it's more, but like from my pastor friends and from talking to her, it just seems like there's like so much more to do, right? Because the social media presence has to be amped up, and like what you were saying with cold calling, people in the church and making sure everyone's doing well and okay, if anyone needs help. And so she's been going crazy with the church life, and she was working as a secretary for a real estate agent, and so she's been laid off from that for now. So she still has her job, but their offices have been closed down now as well. So she's been able
temporary layoff.
Yeah. So she has her job still, thank God. But so her work with the church has been kind of pushed to the max, and both her and I were helping doing youth leader that we're doing youth with. So we've been doing youth group for just like this, doing Zoom, having 20 kids or however many there are on Zoom, which is wild and awesome.
Has there been anyone that's forgotten they're on Zoom? Have you seen some of those videos go around?
No, but but you do see those people that are just like chilling and they're listening, but they just forget like they're on camera. It happened to me a couple times just now. Like you're just kind of get engaged in you. But no, I haven't seen any of those videos though. No.
That's I've seen. There's one. I think it's a company chat, and this poor girl doesn't. I don't know if she obviously didn't realize her camera was on, and she goes to the washroom and
I have seen it.
Does her thing. Yeah.
That how do you move forward? Like that's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, the good news for her is she doesn't have to face everyone at the office the next day. She has, most likely a lot of months to kind of ride this out. But
well, now she has months to think about like what people are saying about her and let that chatterbox in the mind wheels spin. That's what be happening to me.
Yeah. Anyways, there's plenty of videos out there.